Hey, I just had an epiphany. Can you imagine if in every congressional voting district you had a survey of what it is that we, the people, the constituents, want our elected officials to do in exchange for our vote? Once you have the results of the survey, you post them online and you invite every candidate, as well as those who are currently in office, to take a look at the survey and then tell the constituents whether or not they agree with and will abide by the will of the people. Those who respond affirmatively, you know who is worth voting for. Those who hem, haw, or refuse to answer, you know who you shouldn't trust. And there you have it, a way to inject integrity back into politics. Because to the degree that any of these representatives lie or violate the public trust, you have the grounds for an investigation, maybe even justification to primary them or to investigate if it's egregious, and quite possibly even prosecute them. So imagine, a lot of people believe that there's corruption and that certain elected officials should be impeached. If you have a survey and it identifies all of the representatives who it identifies the priorities of the constituents, and you know which representatives will support the will of the people. You now know who to vote for, and if you get a representative who insists on protecting the public's interests, you now have a House of Representatives that is responsive to the will of we the people. That's kind of cool, huh? Now, to the degree that impeaching corrupt politicians probably means that the current administration will possibly need to be replaced, which, everyone from POTUS to the VP down to the Speaker of the House. Now, what's interesting is if the Speaker gets impeached and prosecuted, after all, he shuts down the government to prevent investigation and the passage of files, or honoring the will of the people by, giving up the files, for instance, the E-Man files. Imagine this. If the House has to elect a new Speaker, and the Speaker does not have to be an elected member of Congress, it means that the House of Representatives, if they agree on the nature of solutions that the people want and on how they will get those solutions, things like health care for all, which is better than Medicare for all, because Medicare doesn't have any price controls. But it would stop the ICE raids. It would restore and protect voting rights. It would do a lot of things that are important to the American people that the constituents want. If we did this, then we would have a path to a much better future. And if the House elected a Speaker who would commit to bringing issues to the floor that the people want done, then the people's voice will be heard, laws will be passed to protect their interests, and then to top it all off, you have the ability to elect a Speaker of the House who would be next in the line of succession for the presidency, who would represent and protect the interests of the American people, which means you would have an executive branch and a legislative branch committed to abiding by and honoring and protecting and respecting and reflecting the will of the American people. You do this, now you have an executive and a legislative branch that is accountable for abiding by the will of the people, and now you can have them pass laws that will undo the damage caused by an activist and corrupt Supreme Court. They could overcome they could create rules to undo Citizens United, for instance, to stop the wars, and to do a whole bunch of other stuff that the American people want done. All of this is within reach right now. All you have to do is sign a petition and fill out the survey at fires.org, and together we'll pave the path to a better tomorrow. In other words, peace.